Let's see what we got. Chat. Greetings, rural Minnesota. Okay, well, we are live. And the Redneck has the holler. So Nicole's gone. So I got everything here. So Wednesday. I think today's Wednesday. Yeah, today's Wednesday. She left on Wednesday. It's been busy. Been hot. Kind of stalling for a few minutes, giving a chance for a couple of people to get on. I'm assuming that this is saying that there's 0 on right now. But, I don't know. We'll see. Well, what got done today? A lot. Let's see. Flip the camera around. Got the dog. My whole area right now is a mess. So all the PVC fittings are out. Gotta grab coffee. But I got stuff scattered there. More PVC over here. Random tools that I was using today. So I usually try to get this organized into the day. But right now stuff's just kind of piled. So Friday night, I'm going to do another live stream, probably at 6, and show all the hydro and all the AP systems. We're just now getting everything back online, so I just got that set back up. Well, mostly it's not done yet. This one I'm playing with, doing a little experimentation. So I had to tweak that design a little bit, so I'm going to talk about that in depth on Friday. But yeah, I've got some other stuff that needs to get hosed off. Got that hose fixed today. So it's an interesting thing. A 5/8 inch hose. That is a 3/4 inch PEX ring. Crimp ring. So it's just a 5/8 inch repair fitting that's been crimped on with a PEX ring, so you don't have that huge thing you gotta screw on. And then I put the quick disconnects on everything, because if you have livestock and you run a hose out to top off water for your livestock, and then you've got to disconnect it in the dead of winter to drain the hose, because it's gonna freeze. Just popping that little quick disconnect instead of sitting there trying to unthread everything sucks so much less. So this is another piece I've got that was on that hose that I was using to test that. So just pops on, pops right back off. Oh, and the neighbors are coming over to visit.
Hi. What are we talking about?
Whatever I want.
Okay. Hi, Sonny. You're slacking, dog. You let me walk all the way up here and didn't say anything.
She knows you.
She just still barks at me. Good girl.
That's when she doesn't like you. You must have done something. But yeah. So we get done today. Move the chickens. What's up, Martinson family? So we moved these guys earlier, got them on a little bit of fresh grass. So you stay out.
Stay here.
This is where they were. So that's all feed that they spilled. A little bit of droppings, and then you can see over here. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer. That's what they leave behind. They were here for I think 2 days.
Ah,
So they're starting to put some size on it. Oh wow. I just topped those feeders up like, I don't know, 2-3 hours ago. And they've already pretty much cleared those out, so I'm gonna have to top those off again tonight. Surprised they haven't gone through more water. It was definitely warm today. I was definitely feeling it. I could really stand to take a shower.
there you go. There you go. Just go
But
play with Bear.
I still need to take this guy back apart. We did get the pigs moved Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. Try
Sunday.
2.
Yeah, try 2. Take 2. So a couple of cattle panels that I wired in. This is actually a piece of woven wire fencing. It was too small to use anywhere, so I just cut the woven part and pulled off a couple of the horizontals, and that's what I used to wire this in place. And then that board that's right there, when we moved LB, we stood that up right here and just threw a ratchet strap on it, and then decided not to do that with Lady Pig. And once we got her over to the pond, she decided she didn't want to be in here anymore. So Lady Pig literally came out that hole. You'd really be amazed at what a 700-pound pig can fit through.
Especially when they're motivated.
Yeah. We got her over there and they started talking, and she decided, yeah, time to get out. So they're loving life over there though. So I've already come through, pulled most of the, their little trays and stuff we used to feed them with. I got most of that stuff pulled out of the pig pasture. I've already spread some more seed in here. You can see that is a sweet potato that I shoved in right there. I don't really expect to get, sweet potatoes or anything off of that. I just threw it in there to get something going. And hopefully, if it does put on potatoes, let them rot and they'll sit there and decompact everything. But we did have, when we went to move them, we had Lady over here and LB was on this side. And that bolt right there came loose. So if you can see, that gate isn't quite sitting right. It's leaning to the left. So I'm going to have to get that back into place. Still haven't decided, like their water drums. I don't know if I'm pulling those out or not. But I'm going to go on and, like their feed trays, I'm going to go on and get those washed and cleaned up. We might repurpose them for something else because we've got more of them over where they're at now. Had a bee swarm yesterday, might have been the day before, but they came over here, landed up in this tree right where all those branches cross, and they were in the upper one. And I was not about to try, because that thing's probably about the size of a silver dollar, and I wasn't about to try to cut that one-handed by myself. So I was gonna throw a bee box underneath of them, and I was waiting for them to calm down, and then by the time I got around to getting back down there, they were gone. They gone. But we got Nicole's hydro is almost completely set up. I've still got some fine tuning to do. I just got, or she put some nutrient in last night. I added a little bit more, so I'm waiting a little while before I check the level on that. Had a friend stop by yesterday. pick up some stuff, but he dropped off some lemongrass, and we got some more Egyptian walking onion. So, an assortment of PVC fittings that I'm about to move down. I'll probably wait till tomorrow to do that. But most of my tools up here are back in my bag, and need to take that stuff back down. But this part up here is pretty much done. We kind of pulled pieces and parts from, I don't know, 3 or 4 different systems to put that together. So I'm gonna go over that whole thing on Friday. Hopefully, once I have everything completely put together. But we got her AP. Need to get a few more fish in there, but it's doing pretty well. A little bit deficient on the nutrient, and we got the stock tanks for the new AP. So I've got an initial wrench done on those. It was very obvious that those had barbecue sauce in them, because you could smell it. Yeah, I made the mistake of sticking my face over that to look in the hole, and it was like if you've ever like taken a sniff out of a bottle of rubbing alcohol with it right up by your face. It was about that bad. But yeah, got a little bit of this weeded today. And then I'm looking at hopefully tomorrow starting in on looking at this again. Probably gonna dig on that hole a little bit and then try to get that stock tank in place down there. So I guess we could walk up to the garden because I was up there earlier today too. So anyway, I need to drag the super lacquer up here and mow all of this down. But working on getting the water up here automated. So I found that guy. No idea where it came from. Still trying to make it work. I had it set for both to come on at 7 o'clock, and then I tricked it by changing the time, and only one of them came on. So I've got to play with that a little bit more. Obviously, I did not find it with the manual. And then I had to clean. I have 2 sprinklers that are pretty good. I've had that one here for a while, and it gets basically about from where that milk crate is all the way everywhere where there's wood chips, all the way around, and then stops about right there. So I need to get that upper section up there with the wood chips and the garlic patch up there as well. And this one I finally found in the workshop, and there was a dirt dauber nest in it. So I dug that out, cleaned it out, and there appears to be a leak coming from down here. So I've got to play at this guy a little bit more to see if I can get it working right, so that hopefully it will cover from over there to over there. But I've been randomly pulling weeds every time I come up here, and it's actually not that bad compared to what I was expecting. I mean, we hit this path here on both sides, and not a whole lot has come back up from what we pulled, which is good. And that was, I don't know, 3-4 days ago, 5 days ago. I don't do well with keeping track of days of the week unless there's a reason to know what day of the week it is. Sonny, come on. Sonny, come on. No regard for pathways. Absolutely no regard for the pathways, dog. But yeah, I've spent most of the day picking up most of that stuff. I helped Nicole get ready to go. So she got out the door a little while ago. So yeah, kind of going into maintenance mode a little bit. But let's see, I still have not figured out how to make the comments stay. So if anybody's got questions or anybody wants to see anything specific, post that up in the comments. Ugh. Trying to think what else I did today. There's a lot of that one hydro system that I'm playing with. Took me a little while. I'm on, I think, the third configuration of that one. Barbecue. Which barbecue? There's like 3 of them. But yeah, I spent a decent amount of time picking at that and also just kind of sorting out some of the other random stuff. We had buckets scattered all over the place. Been emptying grow trays, so we have over here this stuff was scattered all over the table and stuff falling on the ground, so I was getting that stuff picked up and cleaned out today. Everybody thinks that, you know, when you're on a homestead that, you know, you're going to spend all day, like, you know, I guess feeding animals. I don't know what people think that you do, but that's literally like less than an hour of the day. Usually it's fixing something, cleaning stuff up, moving stuff around. You know, animals are a small part of it, but you still, you know, you get used to it and you don't realize how much you actually do enjoy the animals. I mean, with Lady and LB moving over to the pond, it's like, just don't feel right. Just something about this place doesn't feel right with that pasture being empty. So, yeah, try to go over there at least once or twice a day. But we do have Holler neighbors chipping in to feed them so that I don't have to go over there twice a day. But we do have sheep are showing up on the 27th. And at some point, we're supposed to be going to pick up a couple of muscovies from eastern Tennessee. So hopefully the muscovies are going to be here within the next week and a half, 2 weeks. But, yeah. That's mostly what I spent the day doing. Still got, you know, evening animals, dogs I gotta get fed. Musical dogs, because you got Nicole's in her house and then you've got mine. And of course, if you caught her live stream earlier, her two took off last night, so they've got doggy hangover. They're still feeling it from last night. That's what happens when you're a dog and you stay up till 1:30 in the morning chasing something, so sucks to be them. But yeah. Anyway, I mean, that's most of what I got right now. I mean, that was most of my day. I mean, if ain't nobody got any questions, I reckon I can probably get off of here and get a couple of things planted. But I wouldn't say procrastinating on getting planted, but just haven't had a chance to get planted yet. So I'm gonna shove a purple sweet potato in her AP. I hid a mystery pepper plant. I have no idea what it is. And the rock wall over there earlier. We'll see if it survives. It looked like it was ready to die, but we'll see. I'm gonna water it over the next week and see what happens with it. But then I got some mint and I got something else. Thyme. That's some thyme that I'm gonna put in probably down over on the other side of the pump house to hope. Now that I've cleared all that vinca out of there, put that down there and hopefully it will take over instead of the vinca. So anyway, guys, so I guess I am going to schedule another live stream for Friday, and hopefully I can get all this stuff wrapped up, and I'll go through all the systems and how they're set up, and I've got one that's going to be cool. That's going to be an ebb and flow system, an ebb and flow hydro system. So I got the final design on that one today. It took me a little while to figure out, but I'll go through all that stuff on Friday and then anything else that anybody has. So, what do you think the first security upgrade on a homestead should be? That's the irritating part. Cameras, lighting, motion detectors, alarm. Well, that's kind of a vague question. I mean, it's kind of hard to say without knowing anything about your property. I mean, I have no idea what you have. Do you have fencing? I mean, how many acres do you have? Like, what's your setup like now? I mean, it's always nice to have security cameras. That's always a good thing to have. Having lights is a deterrent, but I mean, I guess if you're starting from scratch, dogs. Now that I think about it, yeah. If I had nothing, the first thing I'm doing is getting a dog. Because that one, if anybody comes around here, aside from one of the neighbors, she's on it. I mean, she's going to bark. She'll probably go full hackles up, and she looks like a little razorback when her hackles go up. So when her hackles go up, it's very blatantly obvious. And I mean, she will alert to pretty much anything from a bad bird to any other animals. Come on. No fencing. Have a dog. Wondering what the next one. Less than 10 acres. So, with 10 acres and no fencing, I would be probably looking at what I'm planting. You know, whether it be trees, bushes, shrubs. And if you go back into Nicole's feed, the session that I did during the workshop should be up there. And, you know, I talk about concealment, deterrent, and controlling access. So, obviously, the best way to not have an issue is for nobody to know you're there. You know, most people aren't going to come around here because we're just back in the woods. Nobody knows we're here. We're on a little side road. And then going into deterrent, you know, how accessible is your property? I mean, if you can just walk right up to any part of the property you want to, I mean, pretty much free game. So, I mean, I would be looking at planting something. I mean, my parents have azaleas, and I have no idea how old they are, but they're taller than I am, and they're so thick that the dog won't try to go through them. I mean, those don't have thorns or nothing, so I mean, it's not as good as like making a hedgerow out of like Osage orange or locust or something like that. But I mean, for most people, that's enough of a deterrent that, they're not going to just come strolling onto your property. So that's probably where I would most likely go next, just based on, the little bit of information that I do have. And 10 acres, I mean, if you're talking about putting up an actual fence, that's expensive. For, up to 10 acres, that is a decent amount of money. I think. Have you priced fencing lately?
Oh,
I want to say the last time I looked at it, it was, I think, $1.25 a foot. So,
yeah.
you're looking.
Last time I remember looking at it, field fencing, I think just a 4 foot high roll for 200 or 300 feet was somewhere around $250, $300.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And that did not include any T-posts or staples or anything
Yeah.
to stand it up.
That's also the thing too, is what are you doing for posts? So I mean, if you're looking at doing an actual fence, you're looking at a decent amount of money, which is why I say, you know, plants, because you can. I mean, you get something like willow. You know, you get a willow plant or willow tree, and you can just like take a cutting off of that and stick it in some water, and a couple of days later, it's got roots. So it's really easy to make a lot of them. So I'd be looking at stuff like that just to get something up. And then, once you've been on the property for a while and you have a feel like, you do like your fence being here, then you come back in with something like, your Osage or a locust or roses or whatever, and you start planting that, and then you just clear cut, the willow. So you can go that route too.
And the one other thing too is also to consider is, do you really need to fence in the entire 10 acres?
That's a good point too.
Or you just want to fence in maybe 100 yards right outside the house? That might be a place to start too.
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at permaculture, really, zone 2 to 3, I would prefer to have fenced. Like, Nicole has a zone 4, zone 5, but it's back that way, and there's not really. There's access to it, but you've got to know where the access is, because it goes straight up a ridge, and there is a road that you're not getting down without 4-wheel drive. Unless you have my truck. I can get my truck up there without locking into 4-wheel drive, but my truck is ridiculous.
Yeah. And the other thing with that road too is you still have to come by the front.
Yeah, you can come in from the backside though. It goes up and over into Temperance Hall.
No, it doesn't.
Last I heard it did. Or at least it used to.
Maybe if you want to drive a 60-degree slope.
We taking the Toyota out tomorrow?
I'm working, but you can do whatever.
No, I haven't taken the Toyota that far back.
Nah, I went all the way back there, and you get back there, and it kind of stops, and you're looking at a hill about kind of like that at the end of that road.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How much further past the upper cabin?
At least 100 yards. Probably closer to 200 to 300 yards past there.
You get up to that crest of the hill then?
No, it's kind of like if you were to drive this road and then across the creek, that hill, that's about what it's like at the end. It just kind of like dead ends.
Might be taking the 4-wheeler back up there to go scope that out again.
Yeah. It goes back pretty far, but then you're hill climbing.
But yeah, totally sidetracked on that one. Well, anyway, guys, anybody else got any other questions before I jump off of here? I'm looking sideways so that I can read. Alright. Well, I'm going to go on and jump off, so till Friday, guys. Bye. And then I got to remember how to make this thing stop.
Stop. Stop recording or stop highlight. Or save highlight.
I swear there was a button on here to make it. There we go.